Right, hello everyone and welcome back to another flight with Hibblejaybob Airways. So in my first flight I landed at Campbeltown, so we're now going to take off from Campbeltown on a short flight from Campbeltown to Islay. So I'm going to open the doors so the passengers can start boarding. And as they're boarding the plane, we're going to start doing our checklists. So let's see what we got. Parking brakes in, fire handles are in, standby fuel pumps are in the normal position, fuel pumps are in the off position, battery off, and master switch off. Yep. Okay, so all the de-icing switches should be in the off position, which they are. Cabin lights and signs, as usual we'll put the no smoking sign on, and we'll leave the fasten seatbelt off until we're ready to start the engines, and they want us to put that on. Generator switches are off, pitot heat is off. Flap handle should be up, and it is. They want the propellers now to full forward. Levers are off. Propeller should be at flight idle, so let's put that up to flight idle. Windshield wipers are off. Landing lights off. Ignition switch off. Okay, so battery switch. Just battery. Yes, battery now on, and we have lights, which is fine. Check voltage. We do indeed have voltage, which is good, otherwise our battery would be broken. Caution lights, so let's test out the caution lights, which is this one. So they're all working, which is good. Hit them off, and now only the ones that apply are on, so that's fine. We now need the avionics master switch on for the next check, which is to test these. 1, 2, and 3 all checked. Gonna move these out. Check, check, and bring the throttle back. So they're all done. Fuel quantity, we have fuel, which is fine. Boost pumps forward and back on. Okay, so let's try doing this. So 2 forward, 1 off, so we're now doing the cross feed checks, and now let's try again on that side. That one off, that one off, that one off, that one off. There's 3 lights, that's fine, and now let's put them all off and fuel selector back to normal. It should be 4 lights. We've got 4 lights, which is fine. So let's now do this. Should be 1 light. We've got 1 light. Let's flick it on. 1 light again on the other side, which is fine. So now we're going to bring that on and these off. Fine. Okay.
Near the window.
Now we just need to wait for the people to finish loading. What's our temperature? We are at about 11 degrees. It's fine. That's just fine.
Hello.
Person saying hello. Right, see. While we're waiting, let's get the radios ready. Set the runway for takeoff. I have checked the winds. Wind is variable from 290 degrees round through to 310 degrees, which means we will be taking off from runway 29. So let's do that.
Heading 290, set and check. Altimeter 1020, set and check.
Right, so we've now set that for takeoff, so while we're waiting, another thing that we'll do, flick that on. Cruising altitude is going to be 5,000 for this flight. Ah, good, okay, so we're all in. So let's turn the radio switches on. That's actually where it should be at 395. That's going to be the direction of Islay Airport once we get up in the air. So now that's on, we're going to set the people to fasten seatbelts. And now we're going to get ready to start the engines. So, no warning lights in terms of fuel, which is fine. So we're now going to move the right engine on. Just going to zoom in a little bit. Oil pressure up is now okay, NG is stable, so let's now bring in fuel. The engine will take a little minute to spool up. Pressure rising. Green, green, green. So we're alright, just take a little second for the engine to stabilise. And we're all stable. Okay. So now we're going to disconnect this. And then start the left switch. So once again, oil pressure increasing. It's now safe. And the engine is stabilized, so again we bring in the fuel. Second for the engines to stabilize. And they're stable, so let's get that off and we will wait back a little bit. So engines now to complete idle. Bring the generator switches online, so now we have positive load, which is fine. Engine instruments are all green, stable and within limits. Compass is okay, gyro's okay. Caution lights should be none, and there is indeed none. Altimeters, I've already set those, clocks okay, so now we're going to get the lights on, anti-position and collision lights. Now we're going to begin our taxi, so let's get on the radio. And I don't think there's anything else I need to worry about at the moment. Actually, no, I am just going to check, make sure this should be around 0, which it is not. Oh dear, oh dear. Okay, so we'll reset the elevator trim, is now 0, which is fine. And so now we are good to taxi. So we already announced on traffic. I'm sure I covered this in the original video, my first video I did for FSX. In real life, this airport and the airport that I am going to is, it does have an air traffic control tower, because I've actually been in the air traffic control tower for this airport at, its civilian name is Campbeltown Airport, military name is MOD Machrihanish, formerly RAF Machrihanish. And there's not much traffic, there's about 5 contacts a day and only about 1 of those actually lands at the airport, so it's quite a quiet place this. There's a taxiway off to our left, so just make sure nothing's down it. Nope, okay, so we're just going to bring those way around. Yes, so it's controlled by traffic, so I'm not actually going to bother with a flight plan, given that the actual flight is going to be very short. I think probably only around 18 minutes or so in the air, unless I need to go around for any reason. Okay. Okay, so we're at the edge of the runway, so we're just going to bring us to a little stop. Now then, run-up checks. Let's, what are we doing? Right, okay. Engines back to idle, I think. No, okay, they should be on flight idle. So you'll hear the engines come up a little bit, but it doesn't matter because we've got the brakes in. So parking brake on. Let's start bringing the propeller levers back. The reset prop light should be on, which it now is. So we'll bring them back up. It should be gone. It now is, which is fine. So we're going to bring the engines up quite a bit, and then back to the beta lights come on. So that's fine. Auto feather now on. We are above 10 degrees, so we'll leave the anti-ice off. Okay, so gonna now just do the takeoff checks. Landing lights on because we are now going onto the runway, so we're going to the northwest. 315 degrees. God, it's right on the cusp of it. Okay, yeah, we'll call it north. Okay, so let's yank that taxi light off. And we are now going to go do a little visual check, make sure nothing's on approach. If there was something on approach, they would have let us know. Of course, in real life, this airport is controlled by a tower, so they wouldn't just let you casually wander onto the runway. Okay, so we've had the autopilot checked and ready, so we're just going to bring it up as I ham-handedly line up. So the co-pilot is going to call out the V-speeds. We've got a nice long runway here, so we don't need to worry about that too much. So we'll just bring the throttles up about 80%, 90.
V1. Rotate.
It's a little bit slow there, trying to control it against the wind. I'm just going to increase the rate of climb to keep us at around 100 knots. Once we're at 1,000 feet, which we now are, bring flaps up, which is going to drop us down a little bit, allow us to increase speed. We're going to slack off that. Not this. Let's get the autopilot on, push for altitude, push for heading. So the plane is now under the control of the autopilot. There is no, in fact,
Heading 330.
I'm just going to turn to intercept the airport because this is a very short flight, as I said. Yes, there is no auto throttle in this aircraft, so I will need to manage the throttles as we fly. We're now safely up in the air, so let's take off this and enjoy the scenery. I had to ramp up the water graphics. If you watch my last video, you'll know that as I started flying over the water, I had a problem with tiles starting to appear that were a lot darker with the thing. I worked it out that basically there's two levels of water settings. There's kind of low, mid and max of 1x and then low, mid and max of 2x. At the very least I need to have, you know, low of 2x, otherwise it's going to abort. But I figure because I usually fly airliners flying quite high, that I would just keep it on 1x, but that was what was causing the tiling, so I had to increase those. So yeah. Right, so we're now in for a steady climb, so we're going to let the Scottish Centre... No, I don't have the option for Scottish Centre. Yes, okay, here we go this time. So, change Scottish Centre, we're going to let them know that we're here. I'm just going to be like as soon as you acknowledge the squawk code, as if by magic, it changes, right? So altimeter hasn't changed, which is fine. They have us on radar, which is also fine. So now we are going to tune into the Islay traffic. We're going to be landing on runway 31. Full stop landing. God, lots of menus. Okay, now we're just going to leave that as it is because we don't need to know anything at the moment. So there's no turbulence and we are in a slow climb, so we'll let the passengers have their belt off. There's no real reason for anyone to be standing on this flight because there's no toilet facilities or anything on board. We are quite a small aircraft, as you can see. So yes, so there's no really where for them to go, but they can just get their seatbelts off if they want a little relax. Let's look off of this screen and see where we are. On the current path, there's 16 minutes to our destination. Let's see, is there anyone? Okay, so there's no real traffic. Alright, so let's go back outside. Yeah, the only traffic at that point is just Takeoff. Hanish, he's on his way to Gia, which is this little island here. I can't zoom in, so I'll do zoom into the craft, but actually just at the start of the I think it's around here is actually a small grass airstrip, which if we had a massive emergency it could potentially accommodate us. However, from where I am now it's probably just as quick to turn back to Hanish, which is not far behind us, or continue on to Islay, because even if I can't make the landing facility at Islay, which we can actually now see over on the left here, even if I can't make the landing facility on Islay, there is obviously grounds to land in a field. So, we're now at 5,000 feet, so the autopilot will level us out. Yeah, we are 5,000 feet. Okay, so airspeed's going to increase because of that. So at 5,000 feet descending, I will need... Okay. so slowing us down a little bit now. We're now at 5,000 feet. I think, given that our landing angle is probably quite ideal, we're probably going to start descending now. I know this because the last time I did a flight to Islay, what ended up happening was I kind of decided that, like, alright, okay, that's fine, so we're 10 minutes away, and if I descend from 5,000 feet at 500 feet per minute, that's going to be 10 minutes, that's fine. I forgot that you kind of level flying and obviously descending is a lot faster than when you're climbing, so I kind of mistimed it, ended up way too high. So we're going to let the autopilot bring us down at 800 feet per minute. That will hopefully put us on a relatively ideal glide slope. I say hopefully. And I'm now going to tell the autopilot to turn us in towards the runway.
Heading 310, set and check.
So that's going to happen. So, unless we get turbulence, once our descent is, once we are a little bit closer to the airport, we will, I think we are slightly to the right. Yeah, we are. Okay, heading
310, set and check.
So that should hopefully bring us back in a little bit. There's no ILS or anything at this airport, so this is a full manual job.
Heading 305, set and check.
Just going to start nudging us in towards the airport. We can sort it by hand later on. It's not too much of an issue. Hello dog, have you come to say hello? Ah, you picked a very inopportune time. Yep.
Heading 310, set and check.
Okay, so I think we're looking pretty good, and we're now coming into the island, so let's get the fasten seatbelt sign back on.
Please fasten your seatbelt.
And I'm going to announce our position. If I look ahead, I've got two red lights. Okay, so let's start bringing us back 500 feet. And we're actually going to start slowing. Okay. I've put the aircraft now on complete idle because I want to start slowing us up so we can put the flaps down. So at 100 knots we're clear to put the first notch of flaps down.
Heading 315, set and check.
Just going to roll us around a little bit. Okay, 100 knots for set flaps. So because that's going to increase the drag on the aircraft, we're going to increase the engines up to flight idle. $90 knots, second knot of flaps.
2,500.
2,500 feet, okay, so going to start bringing the engines up. We're now at full flaps, so there is quite a lot of drag now on the aircraft. So we've now picked up to the glide slope. Sorry, my hat switch is a bit funky. We've now picked up to the glide slope, so we can descend here at 500 knots. And this is an idea of how much drag is generated by these flaps. I am now at 80% throttle on full flaps, and we're only doing 90 knots because there is just so much drag generated by those flaps. And even look at our angle down, and you can see it in here. And if I look out, we basically look like we're nosediving because this is a very short takeoff and landing capable aircraft. Let's watch that bird. Yes, this is a very short takeoff and landing capable aircraft. So, turbulence. Yeah. What's happening? I believe the birds are the airport's natural thermal visualization, so that would explain why I've just kind of bucked up a little bit. We've just kind of driven into a thermal. So I'm now going to announce that we're on finals.
Heading.
Oops, it's not wanted. Actually, no. What I'm going to do, shift 3. Let's bring this up and do. Okay, now we're too high. I'm just gonna. I'm gonna let the autopilot set the aircraft up for descent, which is now done. So I'm going to disconnect the autopilot and fly this in by hand from now. So I'm going to drop to 1,000 feet per minute down until I'm on the glide slope. My personal preferences for landing is to be marginally below glide slope and then just kind of do an extra long flare to get us on the ground nice and easy. I think it's probably enough. Yep. So bring us back up to 500 feet per minute. Yes, so that's how I like to do my landings. Keep them nice and gentle. 1,000 feet. So the decision height for this is going to be 200. So when you hear 200 being called, we will decide if we are landing. At the moment, there's quite a lot of turbulence. You can just see the aircraft rocking around a little bit, so that it's a bit uncomfortable. But it's not too much of a problem. We just call it thermal again, so I need to just back down. Let the aircraft drop at 1,000 feet a minute. We're back on glide slope. I'm going to keep us just under. Okay, so now we'll bring us back up. Okay, that's not us. Now the traffic advisory is for a large number of airports, so we need to listen out for stuff at our airport. Hopefully they know now because we've announced that we are landing. That won't be too much of an issue. High on the glide slope again. Let's just keep us down like this for a while. Yeah, so you can see the angle down. Looks like we're going to crash into a field.
500.
Okay, so 500 feet. Runway's clear. Landing conditions are clear. Everything's down and safe. Decision is going to be to land. 400 feet.
Minimums.
Decision will be to land.
Minimums.
Yeah, so decision is definitely that we are landing. Bring us down like this.
100. 50. 40. 30.
So engines are cut. Whoa, where did he spawn from? Yeah! What the fuck? So I think that was a case of simulator bork, but nevertheless we're going around. Okay, so we'll do a relatively short circuit for slightly. Jesus Christ. No idea where the hell he even came from. We should pick our height back a little bit actually for now. Normal circuit height is around 800 feet. Now on crosswind leg. Roll us back in. That was scary. Right enough, he did announce it. But we were already on finals, so he really shouldn't have come onto the runway like that. So let's announce that we're now on downwind. And we're about 800 feet, so let's get a bit high for high speed for flaps actually, so let's... Flaps now, where are we at? We're at 10 degrees, okay, we shouldn't get that. So put it down to 20. Let's bring up nose a little bit. We want to keep us level at roughly 100 feet. I think we're a little bit low. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to wait until we're past the city, the biggest town in Islay, which is, we're actually just going to pass over quite low. Actually there when I was younger. It's quite a nice place. We got stuck there an extra day because as you can actually just see if you look around here, there's a ferry terminal here, and there's actually a ferry terminal on the Sound between Islay and Jura, and we arrived on the ferry terminal at the Sound. But we were actually departing from the one from the town. So when we went to the Sound to catch our ferry and found out there wasn't one there, we ended up completely missing our ferry. So we needed to we had to book a hotel and stay in Islay for an extra day, just because of that. Right, so we're passing the little town. Aircraft at around 800 feet. It's been a very long time since I have flown a manual circuit. We're going to announce that we're coming onto the base leg. And I am going to... No, I think we're alright about that. So let's turn us in. Going on. Oh, let's slip down a little bit just to kind of lose that height that we gained all of a sudden. Okay, so just gonna level us out here for a little minute, see where we are in relation to the airfield. Okay, so we're around about there. Okay, so let's announce that we're now on the... Yeah, no, we've already announced what it's like. Right, whoops. And I think we will wait another couple of minutes. I'm just going to gain us some height a little bit because one, we're well below glide slope and there's a bit of a hill between us and the airport, so let's just climb. I'm gonna start my turn here, so announce that we're on final. We're gonna pick up height with the thermal, actually we're gonna pass through that anyway. We do however need to watch the birds, because if we get a bird strike, we're in for a world of hurt. Gently ease us round, so we're kind of going to level out. the engines a little bit because we're going to start the final run. So we're now at full flaps and descending. You know, I think I'm just going to keep this up so that I can see if anyone
1,000.
is going to get in our way. So I'm going to hold it at this height, which is 1,100 feet above sea level, not above ground. The ground's relatively close. Let's put it down to 1,000. Yeah. We'll hold it like this until we can see that we're on glide slope, and then we'll start bringing it down. Right, okay, we're back. So, okay, now we're out of turn, we're starting to dip a little bit, so we're trying to hold it level. Roughly on the centre, which is fine. Starting to dip a little bit low again. Glide slope, so we're going to let us sink now 500 feet a minute. We're going to announce final work again. I really need to figure out what AFCAD software works on for FSX, because I do remember, because I had the same scenery package which has all these airports for FSX. FS 2004, and I ended up just going into them and adding control towers and things, because they do have control towers. Most of them are not on traffic. Islay, I mean, you can see the control tower, it's right there. Same with Macrohanish, I've been in it, I know it's there. They are tower controlled, they aren't on traffic, so I might add that in at some point or other. So we're coming in, we're on glide slope.
500
feet. So just slowing the engines down a little bit. Bring us closer to our landing speed. Starting
400
low, and we're looking to the left of the runway centre line. So hold on.
Approaching minimums.
Okay, so I'm just gonna do some more training.
Minimums.
Just in case any bastard plane decides to spawn in the middle of that damn airfield again. Okay, so engines are now on flight idle.
100.
So it's gonna bring our speed down.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Whoops! Come off too much, but we'll just flare it. And, okay, so, whoops. Right gear touchdown first. Okay. So we're down. Yeah, so rather than managing to get both the gear down at one time, we only got the right gear down first. But it worked. So, hey! Okay, so we're now down on the ground, so we'll get flaps on taxi lights. So I don't actually know what the policy is in real life aviation, of course. As you can probably guess, I'm not a real pilot at all. I do have very limited real life flight experience. I think my total air time is 3 hours, around just under 3 hours. So yeah, I'm not really sure what the policy is regarding taxi lights during the day, but we'll have them on just in case. No doubt if I don't have them on, then FS Passengers will shout at me, as it usually does. I knew that little go-around has made us slightly late. Oh well, on it. just quickly going to I want to do this one. Okay, this view. So let's have a look back. Okay, I'm not 100% sure why there's no taxiways on this, so I'm just gonna yeah. For the sake of getting off the runway, I'm not 100% sure why this is a no entry. But on my flight plan it's listed as a taxiway, so right, announcement, we're clear of the runway. So we're clear of the runway, so we'll probably disregard that now. Yeah, because see, this is aircraft parking here. So like, I'm not 100% sure why. But anyway, let us pick up a little bit of speed and walk around. So we're taxiing around 20 knots. I don't exactly have a centre line, so I'm following the centre line on the concrete. But yes, we're within 3 minutes of our proposed landing time because of that little plane going around. I didn't like how it just kind of spawned. I mean, it looked to me like it just spawned on the runway, because I honestly didn't see it until it just kind of popped into existence. That might have been because I was taking my eye off what I was doing, but I don't think so. Okay, so that's enough. So we're now driving over to the terminal, just over here in the Islay countryside. We when I visited Islay, there's a nice little restaurant. It's a really weird place. I can't remember if it's a golf club or something, but it's literally like it's one big hotel in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing else surrounding it, and we went for a really nice dinner there, and it was jam-packed with people. I mean, it's not something you really expect, because I mean, Islay, sure, Islay and Jura, particularly with the whirlpool up in the north of Jura, it's quite a big tourist destination, but God, I didn't expect it to be that many people. No, it was really nice, and it was within view of the airport. I couldn't tell you exactly where. So what's best? I think this goes into an access road, so yeah, so we're going to taxi down the remnants of the... Oh no, this is the taxiway, and this is actually blocked, so we're going to need to go down the smaller of the two runways. I'm pretty sure in real life there isn't all these bollocks restrictions. But yeah, so if I go to this view, this there used to be 3 runways here at Islay. There's only 2 now. There is the main runway which we landed on, and then there is this slightly resurfaced one. You can tell it's not the full width or the full length, but it can be used for smaller aviation aircraft. Now, there is not an appropriate parking spot for me, which is a little bit annoying, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into their... a bit too fast for that actually. We're we're going to go through into their emergency services area. I'm going to go into this view just to make sure I clip the wings against that big ass aircraft. Okay, so yeah, we're just going to go through here for the purposes of getting turned. And so that little extended flare that we did really cost us quite a lot of time. So let's get us turned around. I know that the wing clearance is big enough on that little wooden place off to our side, but the prop clearance isn't, so just have a little watch about that. And here's a good enough place to get parked. We don't really need to worry about emergency walking access for the emergency services because they do have the access roads both here and here. So, anyway, we're now parked and we're actually right outside the terminal. So welcome to Islay Airport. Let's go back inside. We'll start letting the passengers get their belongings as we, if I can pick up my kneeboard because I haven't used it in so long, do our end of flight checks. So parking brakes set, air engines to flight idle, propellers to the feathered position, so full feathered, which they now are, fuel levers now off, which will cut our engines. Generators in the off switch. Fuel boost pumps in the off switch. Beacon light can come, taxi light can come off, beacon light can come off, position and those lights can come off. No smoking lights can stay on because, you know, no smoking in my aircraft. Now before I can open the doors I do need to wait for the engines to completely shut down, which they now have. So now we can open my door and the main door into the aircraft, which will let our passengers disembark. So as they're disembarking, let's do the final few things. Light switches. Right, okay. So yeah, well, we may as well switch that off now anyway as they're disembarking. The battery master switch on and avionics now off. And that's it. The aircraft is now secured as we are waiting for the passengers to disembark. So, welcome to Islay, and I hope you've enjoyed this little flight. Now, the other thing I have to start doing, you'll remember in my last video there was certain, like, I had to do the analysis in the black at the end because you couldn't see the extra screens as they came up, but now I am doing a slightly different way of recording. So with luck, you should now actually be able to see my analysis report. So now that the aircraft is now empty, FS passengers, let's end the flight. Yes, so now you can see it. So here's my report. They enjoyed my touchdown speed, which was fine. Relieved to have landed safely in the extreme weather. So yay. And we don't get any we don't get any points for being slightly away from the sorry, we don't get any points for being on time because we were almost 10 minutes late. I think 7 minutes late in the end. Scheduled flight time 37. Yeah, okay, yeah. So yeah, in my last flight I managed to do 23 seconds off the time, so almost exactly. So that's now recorded. There's nothing left for us to do but to shut up the aircraft for the day. So thank you very much for joining this flight with the Hibblejaybob Airways, and I hope you'll enjoy I can't speak. I hope you will join me again in the future for my next flight. Thanks for watching. Bye.